I grew up in North St. Louis in a lower middle class family. Um, I was an only child. My parents were in their late 20s when I was born. Um, my mother was a very staunch Catholic. My father was, he was not a strong Protestant, but he was strongly anti-Catholic. So I grew up in a family in which the religious question was near the top, and it was always conflicted. Um, I went to Catholic schools, though, and I did all the things that little Catholic boys did. So it was natural for me to think about a religious vocation. But the problem was that it would be very difficult for my father if I did that. Well, my mother, of course, was very, very pleased. And in general, I think without exception, I think my own friends and family friends thought that was nice. But my father was deeply hurt by that. He did not oppose it because he couldn't really. I was 21 years old, you know, and but it was a great blow to him. It was very, very painful. It was not the worst thing I could have done, but it was almost the worst thing. Of course, it was painful to me. He would come and visit me in the novitiate, and we would have fights, you know, and so on and so on. But I was aware that some of my companions suffered from getting too much support from home. I mean, it was like the fulfillment of their parents' dream that they would become a Jesuit. And and they themselves weren't too sure that that's what they wanted to do. Well, in my case, I had to fight this out from the beginning. And in fact, you know how young men often react strongly against their fathers. Well, the way I did it was by joining the Jesuits. Father Walter Ong, who used to teach here, I think he was probably the greatest, certainly the greatest person in the humanities in the history of St. Louis Unit, maybe the greatest person in any discipline. He was a friend of mine, and I took a lot of courses from him when I was here. And he said, well, when you have an identity outside your being a Jesuit, basically when you become a regent teaching somewhere, then your father will begin to accept it because he can tell his friends what you're doing. So my son teaches at such and such a place. And that was exactly true. He was exactly right. Once I had a secular identity, my father gradually accepted me more and more, and at the end of our lives, at the end of his life, we were very, very close. I'm Father Carl Dehne, and this is my calling.